Welcome, Evil Dead fandom. Today, guys, I'm going to give you guys my Evil Dead ranking. Now, I haven't seen the TV show Ash vs. Evil Dead, so I'm only going to include the movies, starting with Evil Dead 1, Evil Dead 2, Army of Darkness, the remake, and Evil Dead Rise. Now, guys, we're getting Evil Dead Burn this month, July 9th for me. I'm fucking psyched. Hearing that the movie's bloody, vicious, grotesque, and even humorous. Now, those are the great blends of what Evil Dead is. Bloody, vicious, comedic, humorous. Now, guys, the last Evil Dead that we got, these remakes, these have been more on the vicious side. Nothing too comedic and all this shit, especially the official remake. Now, let me go ahead and start up by saying, guys, I love all these movies right here. I love Evil Dead. It's the most consistent franchise, consistent horror franchise ever. You know what I mean? All these movies, guys, not even movies like Nightmare on Elm Street, Halloween are as consistent as Evil Dead. These fucking movies right here, guys, are so consistent, are just so badass, are so bitchin' that there is value for everybody, I believe. I've even watched one of these movies with my grandpa, you know what I'm saying? And he does not even like horror. He doesn't get into The Grudge, The Ring, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. No. I mean, this is coming from a Chuck Norris fan and Arnold Schwarzenegger fan saying that Army of Darkness kicks nuts. So, guys, without any further ado, let's go ahead and just jump into this stuff. You know what I mean? I have so much to say about these fucking movies right here where I just don't want to waste any time. So, guys, with these movies right, we have Evil Dead 1, 2, Army of Darkness, the remake, and Evil Dead Rise. So, guys, we have 5 Evil Dead films. Currently, we are getting 6 this month, which I'm fucking psyched and just, you know, ready for. So, guys, like I said, excluding the TV show Ash vs. Evil Dead. Not that I'm not intrigued, but, guys, I'm not the biggest fan of TV shows and series and things like that. I like just these films, just packing a punch, one major episode. We just get straight to the point. Just give us this now. I'll probably eventually get into some TV series like the new Pennywise one and Welcome to Derry, things like that. But with Evil Dead, I hear great things about the show, guys. The reviews are awesome. Ash is in the show, so it's going to be fucking ballsy. So, starting off, guys, with my number 5. The bottom of the barrel for me, guys, is going to be Evil Dead Rise. Evil Dead Rise, guys. Now, I've seen this movie in theaters. You know, I was actually really distracted by some fucking teenagers sitting next to me just goofing off on their phones, just talking, just being all antsy, not really there to see the movie, just probably killing time or whatever just going on in their heads. Probably just want to enjoy the weekend, fucking get away from their teachers. But, guys, so I didn't really enjoy the theater experience when I went to go see Rise. Now, that doesn't fault the movie. I've seen the movie plenty of times at home, got to squeeze it in. Just really, just trying to soak it in for what it is. Now, guys, this is a great movie to stand alone, like Godsmack, you know what I mean? If we were talking about an Evil Dead movie or just on its own, or a movie on its own, well, actually not an Evil Dead movie, but a movie on its own, it's great, you know what I mean? I think this movie right here, Evil Dead Rise, is fine. You watch this movie on its own, you know, it doesn't affect the franchise because honestly, guys, I see that this movie has a lot of fans. Everyone digs this movie right here. I am a fan of this movie, guys, but I just think that this movie is missing that superb grooviness of what Evil Dead does. One thing that pulls it back for me, guys, is the final girl. I think the final girl for this movie is a little lackluster, a little personality-less. And although aggressive, but not so mean. I think with these Evil Dead films, guys, we need characters that are just fucking like Terminator, just kicking ass, male or female. I think that the female in the remake did fucking awesome. I'll get to that. But with this one right here, guys, Evil Dead Rise, I felt that this movie had the taste of Evil Dead, but not the formula of Evil Dead, if that makes any sense. I think that this movie looks and sound-wise execute the Evil Dead taste very well, but the formula of these Evil Dead movies, guys, I mean, let me just start off by saying that I think the possessed mother in this movie did way better than everybody else. I kind of felt that there was going to be a little of something affected when I noticed that there was all going to be children and in this building. And it's going to be a mom with her kids and she gets possessed and this and that. Now, where the fuck are the kills are going to come in when she's just locked in and it's a mom and her kids? I highly doubt she's going to eat her kids and this is going to be the movie. Well, actually, you know, that's pretty much what happens in the fucking movie. The kids get possessed. It gets brutal. People die all in the complex. It's pretty intense. But, guys, I really just felt that that movie right there, funny enough, that Evil Dead Rise felt like a take on the new director of Evil Dead Burn. The new director of Evil Dead Burn, his first film is infested, like spiders in this apartment building, and it just gets infested, and they're stuck in there, and people are dying and taken out one by one. Very similar to Evil Dead Rise. I really just think Evil Dead Rise was the character lacklusterment for me, guys. I just think that final girl wasn't as bitchin' as what Evil Dead is supposed to be. It's a great final girl on her own. I think on her own she's great, but with these Evil Dead guys, it is supposed to be superb. It is supposed to be mean, and I just didn't really get that from her. I'll give her about a 7 out of 10 on that part right there. I think the possessed mom did really great. Her lines were really great. I just think that, just her whole aura and personality prior to her getting possessed is pretty mean and effective already. I think the children in this movie did really good too. The kids are the ones that unleash the hell and the demons in this movie, reading off the book, the Necronomicon. But yeah, guys, I just think that this movie right here, just the style of it is, although Evil Dead tastes, I just think that this movie, the execution-wise, was, I wanted more. I liked the movie, but I really would have just wanted more Evil Dead takes, and possibly maybe more battle sequences in the complex within the Deadites and them getting possessed, and possibly, going into different apartments and having battles and probably shooting them and things like that, or just whatever it was, or just something, maybe a claustrophobic moment where, although she has one in the elevator, I just think that there should have been more maybe in the actual apartments themselves. I think that maybe she probably should have been kicking down the doors like True Lies, you know what I mean? Just shooting all these fucking Deadites. And although not action, but guys, I'm hearing that this new Evil Dead Burn is actually quite actionist, quite brutal. I'm hearing that there's scenes in this new Evil Dead that are possibly by far the most brutal. So, Evil Dead does have an action take. Take Army of Darkness, for example. So it's okay to go that route. But I really think that what affected it for me, guys, was really the final girl, the simplistic nature. And I hear that this movie's bloody. It's blood, all this. It's bloody, but not Evil Dead bloody. You know what I mean? I don't count the elevator opening on with all that blood gushing out, even if that shit is practical. I want that bloody shit that comes from like Deadites getting their face ripped off, or jugglers getting slit, or ears or whatever, people getting possessed, and fucking hammers to the face and chainsaws. It's supposed to be bloody like that. I don't count like blood, just pouring out. Although yes, Evil Dead, that is the formula. But I think that with this movie right here, them going this newer route, this modern route, especially with the take that we got on the previous Evil Dead remake, I think that we should have kept up this grotesque nature that we're showing these deadly crimes and murders, and it's just fucking grotesque. Not just blood for the sake of having blood, but it's bloody because of the grotesque natures of these demons' actions, you know what I mean? They want you dead, they're killing, they're monsters, they're unhumanly. So they're going to be biting you, eating you, stabbing you, splitting you, killing you in the weirdest ways possible because they're evil. And so yeah, guys, number 5 for me is going to be Evil Dead Rise. Number 4. Now, guys, keep in mind that these lists right here, it's fucking hard to make this ranking right here. It really is. But with me, guys, number 4, I'm going to go with the original Evil Dead. Original Evil Dead, guys. The reason I'm going to go with this original Evil Dead is because I think the Evil Dead franchise is like Terminator. We can all say, guys, that this franchise has really got greater and developed as it went on. Evil Dead 2 is a fucking just a great take on what this franchise has become. But Evil Dead 1, guys, I really think this movie right here is still a really great take. Evil Dead 1, I would say better than Friday the 13th 1, up to par with Halloween 1, up to par with Nightmare 1. Just for the value of this movie and the rawness and the nature of it, and the cemented value that this movie has cemented itself in the horror genre, is what I really give it points and value for. This movie right here, guys, such raw fucking just film right here. Sam Raimi coming together with Bruce Campbell to really just make this film in the woods, cabin in the woods type film. Call it Evil Dead. Short budget, but fun. Mostly just friends making a film. And That is what's genuine about this. You know what I mean? All these people get along. I feel this wasn't really like a job. They're really just going having fun, guys. I'm hearing that they're. I heard that they were smoking weed, having fun. You know what I mean? Bringing their own props, fucking chainsaws, all this stuff. Probably drinking, smashing, everyone just having fun, just like in the film. Now, the reason why I put this one at number 4 is also, guys, for the budget. You know, when you watch this film right here, it is more of the lower budgets, obviously it being the first one, compared to Army of Darkness and Evil Dead 2 and the remakes. And I think that is what just pulls it away. The film itself, guys, is a superb film. I love this film right here. I've watched this film, high as a kite, and just had so many different perspectives on this film right here, from inside and out, and just observing the creativity and acknowledging just everything, the characteristics of this film and how they do this and how they do that, and picking up clues myself on, as a horror fan, and wanting to make just really content like this. Really, I would love to make a fan edit, a fan film, direct a Hollywood film. Always have dreams like that. But guys, Evil Dead, the staple of Evil Dead. Not a lot of films can say that the first film still really holds up. I mean, maybe back in the day, the impacts they made, but today, guys, effects, all this shit, fade away. And Evil Dead, although in the original one, some of the effects have dated, but I think that the rawness of this movie, guys, is what gives it its own nature. You know what I mean? It's supposed to be raw. It's supposed to be VHS film. It's supposed to be mistake-ish. It's a first film. It's like a friend film where people are getting together, shooting a horror film, and just the staple debut for Bruce and Sam Raimi. So, but other than that, guys, this movie really just still holds up. I love this movie right here. Such a great time. This one right here is pure on that horror side. And another thing I really want to give it credit for is, guys, like the characters in this movie right here. I mean, it is such a authentic movie where it really just feels like snuff film-ish. You know what I mean? Like, just how these characters get along and talk to each other and things like that. I really dig it, guys. I mean, I really dig the nature of this film where there's not so much, to me, guys, I mean, I don't get this vibe of so much dialogue heavy. I mean, it's really atmosphere heavy when you watch Evil Dead. I mean, you feel like the woods, you feel the evil demons, you just see like the smoke, just the dark clouds, just this eeriness, and just hearing just the vibe of the woods is what Evil Dead is about. It really is like that main blueprint and characteristic of what Evil Dead films are like. In and out the cabin, you know what I mean? I really love the settings to Evil Dead films. And really, guys, this movie right here has some crazy shit for, an 80s film and things like that, a debut. And guys, this film also is so ballsy that it's NC-17. Yes, if you look on IMDb, like, this film back in the days was pushing boundaries, I'm telling you. I mean, for Sam Raimi, I mean, this isn't a guy that is purely horror. I mean, he's made Spider-Man, he's made a bunch of, comic book family films, but back in the day, starting off, guys, a lot of directors start off with horror. Tobe Hooper, I mean, I believe Wes Craven, and so with Sam Raimi, he held fucking no punches, going hard or go home, and that is the way to do it. Is to really do with what your gut, what your soul wants, is to make that impact. So much so that it is NC-17, that the MPA is like, fuck, dude, this is pretty fucking ballsy. And Sam Raimi's like, I know, it's my first film. I got a lot to say, a lot to show, a lot to prove, and a lot to do. So I really think Evil Dead, guys, although, it being old school in the first one, guys, being number 4 in this list is not bad at all. These movies are fucking solid, and it's hard to make these rankings, guys, but you know what? Evil Dead, putting it at number 4 because of the superb nature of what the further films were capable of doing. So, number 4, guys, going with the original Evil Dead. Yes, that one is obviously better than Evil Dead Rise to me. No contest on that part. But let's go and continue, guys. Number 3. Number 3 for me, guys, is going to be Evil Dead 2. Yes. Now, guys, my list has switched a lot. If you were to ask me this a year or two ago, 3 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, it would have been different. But the reason I'm putting Evil Dead 2 at number 3 is, guys, I really think that this movie right here, like I said, the Terminator 2, the staple of stepping shit up, Bruce Campbell shining on this thing, it is the staple of what Evil Dead is. This is the main of what Evil Dead is, guys. We get the pure blend of horror, comedy, great blood, great even action, great characters, great settings, just trippy shit all throughout this movie that works. I'm telling you. I mean, this is also like the Texas Chainsaw 2 route, where first one's horror, then we're going on this comedic route where it's probably going to throw people for loops, but fuck it. It's what calls for it. And Evil Dead 2 pulls it off so well. Bruce Campbell in Evil Dead 1, although the main star in that movie... Sorry about that, guys. Fighting off a cold right now, and you know what I mean? I'm not going to let these sicknesses defeat me, you know what I mean? Got this Evil Dead to look forward to. And you best believe, even if I'm still sick, I'm still going to make it to that movie, baby. Ain't nothing going to stop me from seeing Evil Dead burn. I've been waiting. I don't even care if I'm possessed myself, going in there as a deadite, you know what I mean? If I'm literally just possessed, dead myself, I'm going. Okay, so Evil Dead, guys, Evil Dead 2. And now, although in Evil Dead 1, guys, Bruce Campbell was the star in that movie, it wasn't stardom status, you know? It wasn't so much so like, you know, Arnold Schwarzenegger and Predator. I'm using a lot of Arnold Schwarzenegger references. It wasn't so much so like Sylvester Stallone and Rocky Balboa. It was more of he is the final guy in that movie. There was so much so going on in that movie where it wasn't so much so that he's standing out shining. Now, with Evil Dead 2, guys, I think with this movie right here, it is mainly Ash. This is Ash's journey of insanity going on. The journey, let's say, our journey and this adventure, watching Ash go on this decline into hell and just evilness in the cabin alone. It is a great take and continuation from Evil Dead. It is some solid shit, guys. You know what I mean? It is technically like a continuation / remake, you know, we could say. Also, guys, yeah, the laughs in this movie right here. Now, this is a love or hate film. I really wonder what people are thinking back in the day when this film came out and they were like, okay, Evil Dead, these brutal horror films right here, you know, and then we go into this comedic route. Everybody seems to be on board. You know, it's really like this Three Stooges-ish, although mixed with this horror griminess. It calls for a really great time, guys. I mean, you give something to the comedy fans along with the horror fans. And I think this is the best blend of what Evil Dead 80s have captured back in the day. You know what I mean, guys? This movie right here, I'm telling you, really used to be in my top 3 or 2, you know, even. But, guys, after rewatching a lot of these films, my rankings has changed. And I gotta say, I'm pretty solid how I feel about this, you know. Evil Dead 2 was one that I came late to the party on. I put myself a little late onto this movie, guys. I'd say pretty much when I was like a teenager. The first Evil Dead movie I did see was Army of Darkness. So, you know, but with Evil Dead, you know, with Evil Dead 2, it really, I can still really respect and see that nostalgic factor that people and it had and held back in the day. It's still really a valuable movie, guys. I love this movie right here. This is one right here that I would say I come back to and will go back to more than the original Evil Dead. For its progression factor, I love that this movie really is Evil Dead 2, like twice the punches, twice the fun, twice the action, twice the gore. Bruce Campbell standing out in this movie right here. Lions at its best. It is just fucking awesome, baby. And this Evil Dead 2, I'm telling you that I've had a lot of fun watching this movie right here. Now, there's fucking at times, guys, where I'd say this movie is like really like probably more comedic than Army of Darkness. This movie goes for it, baby. And this is honestly, guys, I would say the most popular Evil Dead film right here. Evil Dead 2. People love this movie. I know people hold it to high regards and is their favorite. And don't get me wrong, guys, I love this movie. It is not my favorite in the Evil Dead franchise. I believe that there's a film for me that just captures the Evil Dead spirit a little better. Evil Dead 2, though, guys, I love this film. I respect it to death. Now, I gotta say, guys, when it comes to Evil Dead, I think that there is some progression that I'm pretty sure that, you know, I'm going to be throwing you guys for some loops here. Number 2, guys. My number 2 is going to be Evil Dead Remake. Yes, remake. Guys, this right here used to be number 4 a couple years ago. I'm telling you. I remember watching this a couple years ago and being like, fuck, this doesn't really hold up. I'm just not really like, it just feels like, like a remake of just them taking like the style of Evil Dead, blah, 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 shit like that, right? I guess this wasn't in the right headspace. Watching this movie, guys, with these newer films like the remake of Friday the 13th and The Collector or Devil's Rejects, all this shit, and then throwing on Evil Dead. Now, guys, if there was no Evil Dead movies like, the 80s and things like that, like, Army of Darkness and Evil Dead 2, things like that, and this film was just a standalone, this film right here, I think that would be held at higher regards if it was a standalone film. I do think since it is a remake, it kind of has that effectiveness where it's like, okay, it's been done before, it's a remake, blah, blah, blah. Although remakes have been, blown up, out of proportions like The Thing. But I think with this film right here, guys, I just think that the remake nature of it is what affects it from being most people's wants. Because that nostalgic people have for the original Evil Deads and Evil Dead 2s and things like that. Guys, this fucking remake right here, I think is better than that Texas Chainsaw remake. I'm telling you, and I've been watching these films recently. I watched the Texas Chainsaw movie recently, the remake, and although brutal, and is like a really great modern take on a Texas Chainsaw film, I think this film right here, guys, due to the Evil Dead, like I said, having like that, it was a little short budget, you know what I mean? So it kind of had that value to it. I think that with this remake, guys, having that budget fixed, having more money, having a bigger budget, having more shit to do, more chaos, more evilness, I think gives like this Evil Dead just time to shine, baby. Time to shine. This is a dark fucking movie right here, guys. This is dark. And when you watch that Evil Dead, you can really see and tell that this is really, if this movie had a bigger budget and if it was probably made today, it would be evil as fuck and dark. And that director, man, nailed it. I think that director did such a great job remaking it, just bringing back just that fucking sincere evilness that I think that the first one was missing. Now, don't get me wrong. It was brutal, it was vicious. It's NC-17, but it wasn't necessarily scary. This remake, guys, bloody, scary, and great. I'm telling you, the blood is all there. The chainsaw kills. The kills in this movie are fucking brutal. Shotgun kills, stabs to the eye. I'm talking like, licking razor blades is fucking brutal. Chainsaws, things like that. It is vicious. The final girl, I think that she's great. I think she's even pretty. I love the battle between the final girl, her normal self versus her evil self. I think that's pretty fucking awesome right there. The raining blood scene. Now, I know I said that with Evil Dead Rise, where, the elevator, but with this, guys, it works. I mean, the blood is soaking into the ground. It is giving, like, this nice reddish hue to the cabin, reflecting off the fire. She's soaked in blood, so she's chainsaw. She's wearing red, so it just looks fucking ballsy. I think she looks even better than Carrie, and Carrie was covered in blood for her, platinum status. And this film right here wasn't even, like, going for that platinum status. It's just a scenery. She's covered in blood. She has a chainsaw. She's fucking shit up. So that way, it's just a lot of fun, guys. It's a lot of fun. This film right here, I'm telling you, it is really on the horror side. It is fucking like up there with like the Grudge, The Ring. But I have a lot of fun watching this film, guys. I mean, I love the acting. All the actors, I think, did a really good job. I think this movie's fucked up. It goes there. It just has a bunch of whimsical moments where it's like, fuck, damn. It's great, guys. It really is. I mean, now, I know there's no Bruce Campbell, but I really got to rank these films, guys, on what they are. And what this film is, it is great. I think that this film is just an hour and a half of pure evilness. I don't think that I would cut one scene. Everything is great. I really want to give credit to the main final girl. Her acting is just awesome in this movie, right, guys? I think that she plays this good junkie, having to play evil, having to play good. Like, it's a lot that she had to do in this film that I really think that kudos to her. I think that's a major role that all around in the Evil Dead franchise. I think she did great. All around, I really just think that how the Necronomicon looked, the nerdy guy that read it, his death was pretty fucking vicious, getting beat with that crowbar. All of it, guys. Even the picture of this movie right here, guys. I love like the hue, the way that the picture looked. It had like this blackish, sketchy kind of, like I say, like the same kind of look to like The Ring, The Grudge, something really eerie and dark. Just a fucked up movie all around, guys. And like I said, no Bruce Campbell, but the final girl, she's awesome. And I think that she's up to par with Bruce, and I got a soft spot for these final girls, you know what I mean? I should say a hard spot for these final girls because she's killing it, and that's what the fuck I like to see in these films right here, guys. Girls just kicking ass, you know what I mean? Just giving these motherfuckers what they want. Some shit that most of these men couldn't do. But these girls, man, kicking ass, fucking sawing off limbs, cutting off heads, and just pure brutality, baby. That's what I like to see, baby. Bloody nails like to see these bloody babes. Now, guys, we are getting in to the number one territory right here, guys. And I'm sure that you can tell by the one that's been missing. This is my favorite film of all time. This is the film that I grew up on. This is the film that just solidified me to be an Evil Dead fan. And I'm sure that you know what it is, baby. Groovy Status. Army of Darkness is number one for me, guys. It always fucking will be. And don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to conflict and not have high hopes for Evil Dead Burn, but it's going to take a fucking lot. It's going to take a tank to go ahead and try to, defeat and drop this, from number one to number two to number three, whatever it is. I'm telling you guys, Army of Darkness is probably going to be a solidified staple, just cemented, ding, 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 nailed to be number one. This film, guys, one of my favorite movies of all time, one of my favorite horrors of all time, one of my favorite comedies of all time. I just think that everything about this film, guys, is fucking awesome. This film right here is everything in a movie. Action, adventure, musicals, classicals, medieval, horror, comedy, romance, skeletons, shotguns, Kmarts, babes, just swords, deadites, shotguns, knights, just all of it, guys, all of it. I'm telling you that this movie right here just fucking graveyards, tombstones, all this shit, guys. It is such a good time. I mean, everyone in this movie right here, guys, I mean, it's not that so much that I love medieval movies and knight in shining armor. It's just the journey, the nostalgic, the fun I have with this movie right here, guys. I'm telling you. Also, the lines in this movie right here, guys. I'm willing to go on a battle here to say that Army of Darkness has better lines than Terminator 2. Army of Darkness is the most quotable movie of all fucking time. What other movie has more lines than Army of Darkness? Which one? I'm telling you guys, this film is Bruce Campbell at his best. Now, I know I said that he shines in Evil Dead 1 and 2, but I really think that the lines, the confidence, where he's at, the role, I mean, not only in the movie, but beyond the movie, or just Ash, just comfortable in the role, just knowing what to give, what to do. I've been here, done this. I can show this. This is what I do. I am Ash, you know what I'm saying? And I really think that Army of Darkness is like Duke Nukem put to film, you know what I mean? Like, that's a really great way to put it. If you love the game Duke Nukem, you will love Army of Darkness. It is such a great time, guys. Now, it is not on the bloody horror side. It is mainly on the comedy side, but I don't really get that when I watch this. Not to say it's not funny, but I get horror feels, the skeletons, the graveyards, the blood squirting up in the beginning, the setting of this, the cabin even for a bit, and all of this, I mean, it does have that horror taste where it's not like evil, but it's just still horror. And it's like, and to be honest, the take that they did of horror is really like my style, you know what I mean? Like I said, I love the graveyards, I love the skeleton looks, skeletons. Love the skeletons and things like that. So, guys, I mean, it is impossible to beat this movie right here. I mean, just the lines, the groovy, the Sheila. I mean, everything about this movie right, guys. Even Evil Ash in the end, going up against himself. The part where he comes out of his shoulder and he just blows off his own face and then uses the chainsaw and cuts him up and then buries him in the dirt. And he's like, hey, what's that you got in your face? And throws it on his face. And then the skeletons are like, push, 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 push. Ah! And also, when he read from the wrong books, when Ash read from the wrong books, and then he forgot the words, and he just tries to play it off like, I do. Brilliant fucking shit. And then when he opens the wrong books where his face is like, awesome shit. Guys, they had this playing last year around Halloween time in October for, Halloween. They're playing it in the theaters. When I found out that they were playing Army of Darkness in the theaters, I fucking got my ticket prior and showed up with buckets of popcorn, fucking just, and I'm telling you guys, I was like the only one. I heard some laughing in there, but I was laughing at like almost every scene in that movie, and I saw one guy come out of there, and I was like, I was holding the door open when I was leaving, and I was like, hey man, what'd you think of that movie? He's like, that movie was weird. And I was like, yeah man, but it's like fucking classic though. And so this film right here, guys, seems to be really love or hate. It really seems to be, and that's not the first time I've heard about this movie. I suggested this film to a friend, and I've heard the same thing where it's like, you know, this film's a little slow, it's different, it's kind of weird, but you know what? Fuck that, man. This film, it is awesome, guys. It has its fans. It has its fans. This is like a one-of-a-kind film right here, guys. We don't get films like this today. And even in the 90s, guys, and even 80s and in general, this is a one-of-a-kind film right here that I don't think can be duplicated, replicated. And I heard that this film was kind of a pain in the ass to make, but you know what? I'm really glad it got made, and it is worth it, baby, because you know what? Sometimes, you know, making magic can be a pain in the nuts, man. You know what I mean? It's just like that, but it's okay because the final product is worthy, and the fans will love and fucking just, you know what I mean? Just hail it to, just hail to the king, baby. Hail the film to just high regards. Guys, Evil Dead is up there with like the best franchises just out there in horror, and Army of Darkness to me is one of the best films ever made. Now guys, I know this list is a little different than most people's lists and things like that, guys. I've been recently seeing online, like on X, for example, not pornos, I'm talking X like Twitters, where people are talking Evil Dead, and I see an Army of Darkness at number 1. Now that's what the fuck I like to see right there, baby. If Army of Darkness is at number 1, we will get along just fine because we have the same taste and the same perspectives in life. So we will be fine, and we'll be fine, friends and buddies. Now guys, I'm really curious to hear your Evil Dead rankings, guys, with the Evil Dead Burn coming out. Want to go and share my thoughts before this Evil Dead Burn came out, because who knows, this film could change up my whole thoughts on this Evil Dead. If it is a bad film, I'm probably going to reconsider all this and be like, you know what, man, what the fuck is going on here, man? I'm not a fan of, you know, I'm switching it all up. I have a whole different perspective of what these Evil Dead films are like now. Highly doubt that's going to happen, but with Evil Dead Rise, guys, I really was expecting to like that a little more, and it didn't meet up to my expectations, but it was a good film on its own. But with Evil Dead Burn, guys, I'm just by the trailers, the pictures, the you know, the one scene where the zombies throwing that guy off the fucking dinner table and the floating deadite, I think that this film is really gonna be up to par with that original remake. I'm really hoping, guys. And stay tuned, guys, because with this new Evil Dead, I could possibly do a whole nother ranking. I could switch up. I highly doubt it, guys, but I'm really going to be excited to talk about Evil Dead Burn, and really excited to go ahead and see that and what that's like. I'm already calling it now. I'm probably going to see the movie in theaters 3 or 4 times. 1, to probably just go for, you know, the nostalgia to be there. And you know, it's going to be hard to soak all that in. 2, probably soak it in again. 3, just to, you know, probably enjoy it before it's gone. And 4, a farewell, bye-bye. So, guys, I just can't wait. Evil Dead Burns, July 9th. Fucking staying tuned for that. But in the meantime, guys, let me know what your thoughts on Evil Dead. Are you a fan of the Evil Dead franchise? I'm sure you are if you're checking out this video. And are you fucking ready for Evil Dead Burn, baby? Shit's getting hot. Hot outside. And speaking of burning, my favorite album right now is Inferno. Boards of Canada dropped an album in May. It's been 13 years. You should also check that out, guys. Scary fucking music from Backrooms and also Sinister. But Evil Dead Burn. Fucking ready for this, guys. And I will check this movie out in theaters and do a review right after I check it out, guys. So you can stay tuned for that. So please do me a favor, guys. Like and subscribe. And stay tuned for more Evil Dead content. And thanks for sticking with me on this one, guys. And let me know, what is your favorite film in the Evil Dead franchise? Now, if it's Army of Darkness, we will be friends. We will be buddies. And we will be groovy. Till next time, guys. Deuces. Groovy.